as we study the book of Genesis and we study the creation account, that when God wanted dry land and oceans, he spoke to them and they went right to where God commanded them to go. When God wanted plant life, he spoke to the earth and the earth brought forth the plant life. When God wanted the fowl of the air, he spoke to the air, he spoke to the sky and said, bring forth the fowl of the air. When he wanted aquatic life, he spoke to the waters and he said, waters, bring forth abundantly, and they brought forth abundantly. When God wanted land animals, he spoke to the earth and he said, earth, bring forth the living creature after his kind, the cattle and the creeping thing and the beast of the earth. And he spoke to the earth and said, bring forth, and they brought forth. He had a conversation with the sky and it brought forth fowl. He had a conversation with the earth and it brought forth plant life and it brought forth land animals. He had a conversation with the waters and they brought forth the fish of the sea. But God, when he wanted to create you, he didn't have a conversation with the earth. Yes, he formed you out of the dust of the earth, but he did not have a conversation with that earth. When God created you, he did not have a conversation with the sky or with the waters. God, when he created you, he had a conversation with himself. You see, whatever God creates belongs to the place from whence he spoke to. Dry land. Dry land belongs on dry land. You take dry land out of dry land and put it in water, it's no longer dry land. It's what we call mud. The ocean belongs to the ocean. If you take the ocean and move it out of the ocean and put it on dry land, it's no longer the ocean. That, my friend, is what we call a flood. Plant life. Plant life belongs in the soil. You take a tomato plant or a strawberry plant and you uproot it from its source and you lay it out above the ground. You watch what happens to it. It will wither. It will dry. It will die. It will crumble and turn to dust, and it will blow away on the wind because it has been separated from its source. You take a bird, you take him out of a wild bird and take him out of his environment. If you've ever had through a chimney flue or through an open door, open window, ever had a wild bird flying into your house, you will see how he will act if he is moved from his environment into an imprisoned environment. He belongs in the air. That's his environment. You take a fish belongs in the water. You catch a fish before you get him unhooked and on a stringer and back into the water. You just watch how he will act, struggling, fighting to try to get back to his source that God spoke to, back to his environment, which is the water. You take a land animal of any kind, a dog, a horse, a rabbit, and take him and stick him out in the middle of Lake Superior, in the middle of Lake Charles. You watch how he will struggle until he gets back to his source, which is dry land. But what about you? What about mankind? Our source, the source from whence we came, is from God himself. He had a conversation with himself and he said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. Your perfect environment, your source from whence you came, is from God Almighty.